All right, this is Algebraic Reasoning Review 2.1 and 2.2. Number 19, these are the quadratic ones. Okay, so these are a little more involved because there's more pieces to look into. But, sorry, your vertex. Remember, your vertex is your C and your D value. Let me get to where I can write on this. Remember, it's C, comma, D, and you got to flip it to get your C value. Or you can look down here and say, oh, it's right there, where it changes. So your vertex is at 2, -1. Alright, is it a minimum or a maximum? Well, it's opening up, therefore it's a minimum. It's going from this point up. So your vertex is a minimum, and it's a minimum at y equals -1. Let's clean that up. All right. So because I got a minimum, I'm going to go ahead and talk about my range real quick. Okay? I'm going to kind of skip down and talk about my range. Your range, remember that's your y values. So it's your lowest y to your highest y. Well, if I got a lowest y right here at -1, so that's at -1, and it goes up to infinity, right? So my range, my lowest point is -1, and it goes up to infinity. Okay? Or you can say, in set notation, okay, remember, introduce your y, because range is y values. In this case, y, because it's going up, well, that is greater than that minimum value, is greater than or equal to -1. Okay? Let me erase all this. Give me some room to talk a little bit. So that's your range. Alright, it's all based upon your minimum value. Put the vertex back up there. And your domain, well, your domain is still all real numbers. So x, we did this a lot already. Oop. X is the set of all real numbers. Alright. Your x-intercepts and y-intercepts. Well, your y-intercept, you can see it right there. So that's when x is 0, y is 1. And your x-intercepts, okay, that was the one that was that funky. And again, I would write this in my notes if I were you, my cheat sheet. So c plus or minus the square root of -d over b, or a, I'm sorry, divided by b, comma 0. Okay, so start plugging things in. For this one, my c value is a +2, so 2 plus or minus the square root of -d. Well, that's d is -1, but it says negative, so I'm going to flip it, so it becomes +1, divided by a, which is 1/2, divided by my b value, which in this case is 1. Remember, if there's nothing written right there, it's a 1. Okay, I'll write it a different color. And then just reduce that as far as you can. Alright, this one's going to be 1 divided by 1/2. If it completely freaks you out, just shove it in your calculator and be done with it. So that's 2 plus or minus the square root of 2. Oh, and nothing, we don't have to worry about divided by 1. So we don't need the denominator anymore. Well, it's still there, we still need to write it. So that's your x-intercepts. Alright, that's both of them. Alright, because of the plus or minus, that is both of them. So we just literally plugged everything into this and reduced it down to that. So your x-intercepts are 2 plus or minus the square root of 2, comma 0. Or if you want to list it twice, that's fine. Let me erase that real fast. We can do 2 plus the square root of 2, and we've got 2 minus the square root of 2, comma 0. There's both of them. If you want to list it as a plus or minus, that's fine. Alright, your increasing and decreasing interval. Basically, where is the slope going down and where is the slope going up? All right. So if you were going across this thing, well, you'd be sliding downhill that way until you got to what point? Right here. Okay. So anything to the left of this, we're going down. If we're going uphill over here, anything to the right of that, we're going up. So this is your decreasing interval. This is your increasing interval. So my decreasing interval is from negative infinity to 2. Let me right over here. Negative infinity to 2. So I can literally just write negative infinity to 2. And the 2 is included. My increasing interval where I'm going up, actually it's not included because it's level at that point. So we just be, and it's from 2 to positive infinity. That's where it's going up. This is where it's going down. So it's 2 to positive infinity. Okay? Well, that's a lot, but just work through them and you'll be okay. All right? Put plenty of stuff in your cheat sheet.